Good evening, students. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
So, today's class will start a new topic. Okay. It's an interesting one. Just give me 2 minutes, we'll get started. Yes. So we'll get started. One minute, please. Sorry, my device, I don't know why it is very slow today. I want everybody to write down the heading, Chapter 13, Magnetic Effects of Electric Current. So write down magnetic effects of electric current. Okay. Yes. At last got opened. Yeah. So I just want to know how many of you know this chapter already. How many of you have started this chapter in your school? Chapter 13, that is magnetic effects of electric current. Guys, I want some interaction.
Sir, they have not started, sir.
Not yet started. Okay. So everybody, this is the same scenario. Okay. See, we have learned this thing, right? In chapter 12. Can someone tell me what is the name of chapter 12? Chapter 12 was?
Electricity.
Yeah, current electricity, right? So what did we learn in this chapter? In current electricity, we discussed about how the electrons are going to flow, what is the potential difference, all those things we have discussed, no? Right? So if you look at this chapter, it also has something to do with electric current, that is magnetic effects of electric current. So what do we mean by that? Means, see, generally, I just want to say a small history of this. So at one point of time, people believed that electricity was existing. Yes, they could sense electricity. And obviously they could sense magnetism also. I hope you guys understand what do I mean by sensing, right? Sense in the sense, they were able to accept, yes, this material will exhibit magnetism. And they were able to accept, yes, these materials will allow the current to flow through it. So current electricity was existing. And people were thinking that these two branches were completely different. What did they think? They thought these two branches were completely different. What do I mean by completely different? Means
They are not interlinked with
they
each
were
other.
thinking that these two branches were, yes, they thought that they are not interlinked. But it was in the 19th century that there was a scientist named Oyster, Hans Christian Oyster, okay, who was a physics teacher. What he did is, while he was teaching the same thing, okay, he was trying to demonstrate and show something that electricity and magnetism were not related. But to his surprise, what happened is he observed that electricity could generate magnetism. Are you guys able to understand? So that is when the branch of electromagnetism came into existence. Guys, are you able to understand? So in 1820, what he did is he accidentally discovered that compass needle got deflected when electric current passed through a metallic wire which was placed nearby. Okay. Through this observation, what happened? Oersted could confirm that electricity and magnetism were a related phenomenon. Means what happened is they started understanding that if you need to generate magnetism, till then what they were thinking is only permanent magnets could generate magnetism. You know what are permanent magnets, right? You have bar magnet, you have horseshoe magnet. In today's world, you know all these things. But at that point of time, yes, they were thinking that permanent magnets were the only magnets which can generate magnetism, whereas his experiment proved what? What did his experiment prove? That electricity can give birth to magnetism. And those kind of magnets which generate which generate magnetism with the help of electricity are called as electromagnets. Are you able to understand, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if this was not invented, we could not enjoy the privilege that we have today. Like you can do nothing. Like no microwave, no remote control, nothing. If this invention was not there. Okay. So that is what? That is when the creation of radio, television, fiber optics, everything came. Today we are enjoying the internet, right? Everything is based on optical fibers, right? Fiber optics, right? So
Yes, sir.
all these things were first invented by, I'll not say invented, it was discovered. It was a phenomenon that was existing, but people believed that they were not interrelated, but this experiment proved. So let me show you a small simulation based on it. Okay. So first of all, see, if I ask you a question like this, guys, if I say, tell me whether when you switch on, let's say you have at your home, you have a switch, and let's say you're switching it on, and I ask you to find whether current is passing when you switch it on or not. How will you test whether current is passing through a device? So if I give you a question like this, I want you to find out and tell me whether a bulb is working or not. What will you do? I'll give you a bulb. Okay. I'm asking you to do a testing. I say, you go test whether this bulb is working or not and let me know. What will you do?
Sir, connect the bulb to a small battery.
You
sir.
connect the bulb to a power source and switch it on, right? When you do that, what will happen? If the bulb starts glowing, yes, the test is successful, or else it's a failure, means the bulb is not working, right? But now the question is, what if you connect it to such a plug point? I repeat it. What if you connect to such a plug point where the plug point itself is not working, but the bulb is working? How will you check whether a plug point is working or not? Do you guys know how to do this? Have you ever heard a word called as tester?
Yes, sir.
So what do they do with the tester?
Sir, they keep it into
It'll be
the
like a screwdriver.
plug point, sir, so that it will glow.
Yeah. When they connect the tester, what will happen? They will have a light at the top. When they touch it, when they touch the screw at the top and put it in the plug point and switch it on, if that LED glows, yes, current is passing, or else it is not. Right? So why I told this point is, if you have electricity, if you have a phenomenon called as electricity, then you have a device called as a tester, which is used to identify whether there is electricity at that point or not. In a similar way, how will you test whether magnetism is present or not?
So by bringing a permanent magnet, sir.
With
Sorry,
the
I
help
didn't
of a
get you.
compass.
Very good. With the help of a compass, right? Means, see, suppose I say there's a permanent magnet. Okay, I have a permanent magnet. Then, if I have a compass which I bring it near this, then what will happen to the compass? The compass will start. The needle in the compass will start revolving. Right? I hope everybody knows this fact, right? So if you want to know how a compass works, what you can do, you can download an app in your mobile. Okay, you can download a compass in your mobile and just check. It will respond to Earth's magnetism also. Are you guys able to understand? So when a bar magnet is taken close to a compass, then the compass will sense that yes, magnetism is existing in this region, and it will tell us that it will help us to draw something called as magnetic field lines. So before I get into all these little bit of complex topics, let's try to understand from what we already feel in our day-to-day life. See, suppose I have this paperweight in my hand, right? So the paperweight is able to rest in my hand because I am applying a force from the bottom. What would have happened if I remove my thumb? Will this be able to hang in the middle of the air?
No, sir.
Logically, no, right? Why? Why can't it hold? What is the science involved behind it? Yes, the fact is it is going to fall. Everybody knows this. You would have seen it. But as a science student, what would be the theory you would say the reason for it to
So
fall?
gravitational force.
So gravitational force is the one which is responsible, which is pulling this towards the center of the earth. Correct? So you use the word gravity, right? So gravity, in addition, gravity is a force, right? In addition to gravity, what will happen is there is a region around us. What do I mean by region? There is a particular area where you try to place this paperweight, it will experience a force. In which direction? In the downward direction. Right? That region where this is able to experience force is what we call it as gravitational field. Have you heard the word called as gravitational field? Have you guys heard the word called as gravitational field?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. So if you want to visualize how gravitational field is, see, for example, if they play cricket, right? So there is a cricket stadium. There is a region where they play cricket. You can call it as a cricket field. In a similar way, if there is a region where you can sense the gravitational force, that region is called as gravitational field. In a similar way, what will happen is every magnet that you have in your hand will have a region around it. Right? Will have a region around it where you try to bring another magnetic substance in presence of that region into that region, then that magnetic substance which you have brought will start experiencing force. Are you guys able to visualize what I'm trying to say? I'm sure you guys would have played with magnets, right? So you take a magnet, you take it close to an iron particle, what will happen? It will get attracted. Yes or no? Right? Now the question is, how do we take this idea into the concept of electromagnetism? That is what I'm going to show you. So you're able to see a permanent magnet, right? And you have a compass on the left hand side. What if I move? So the red color point of the compass is the north pole and the white color is the south pole. So if I take the south pole close, what is happening? It is like this only. But see what if you see what is going to happen if I start moving this magnetic compass. What is happening to the needle, guys?
Sir,
You're
the
able to
south is attracting towards the north and the north is attracting towards the south pole.
That is happening. So how is it happening? Is it happening without the rotation of the compass? So the one is there, no, the diamond colored shape inside the compass, that is called as the magnetic needle. I'm sure you guys know that. So magnetic needle also is like a small magnet only. And when you move it, look at the way it is revolving, right? So a magnetic needle will experience a rotational force actually. You know, I know you will not be knowing this name, but the rotational force is technically called as torque. Torque. Please make a note of it. So write down the first point. When a compass is placed in external magnetic field, it experiences what? Torque, due to which it will start revolving. That is the reason why it is revolving. Am I clear?
Sir, can you repeat once more?
Sure. When a magnetic compass is placed in the presence of magnetic field, it experiences torque. And it is because of the torque only what is happening. It is because of the torque only the compass needle is revolving. Okay. So this is the idea from.
So what is the spelling of torque, sir?
So TORQUE.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Torque in the bracket you can write it as rotational force. As of now, that is enough. Nobody is going to ask you this, only for your knowledge. Okay. Now the question is, in this particular thing, do I have a permanent magnet or an electromagnet? The one which I'm showing you now, is it a permanent magnet or a temporary magnet? So bar magnet is a permanent magnet, means at any point of time you take it close to the compass, it will show deflection. Now the question is about, if these kind of magnets are existing, then how the temporary magnet is going to be? That is how an electromagnet is going to be. Now see. Okay. Now I have a loop. You're able to see the loop, right? I have a loop. Actually, there are 4 loops, and you have blue color dots there. What are those blue color dots? Any idea?
Electrons, sir.
Yes. They are the electrons within this so-called conductor. And what is going to happen is, when you start applying a potential difference, see what is happening around. I applied 1 volt. So applied 1 volt. Are you able to see that the electrons are moving? So when the electrons are moving, you are able to see a region around it, which is in the color of white and red. That white and red colored region are what is what is called as magnetic field, and those lines are called as magnetic field lines. That is what we are going to discuss now. Means an electromagnet will generate a magnetic field around it. Now from 1 volt, if I increase it to 2 volt, what is going to happen? Observe the darkness. No, hasn't the darkness increased? So what is trying to tell us? What is it trying to tell us? Means if you increase the potential difference, then you are increasing the value of current. When you increase the value of current, what is happening? The amount of magnetic field is also going to increase. So magnetic field is found to be directly proportional to current. Now I took it to 10 volts. See what is going to happen. Here, guys. Now if I reverse the polarity, look at the direction in which the electrons will flow. And did you observe that the compass took a turn? Look at the compass. It is taking a turn as I change the polarity. Are you guys able to understand? So this is what is the principle behind how an electromagnet works. Is this concept clear? Right?
So what is polarity?
Now we can get into the technical aspects of all these. What is polarity? Huh? What did you ask? What is? Did you ask this term polarity?
Yes, sir.
Polarity means changing the positive and the negative. So here, what I meant is, when I connect it like this, see, when I take now I gave less than volt, no. If I say this is the positive polarity, I'll take this to the other side. This I will call it as minus 10 volt. That is what I meant by polarity. Means I'm exchanging the positive and the negative terminals of the battery. Okay. So first thing that we need to know is magnetic field. So magnetic field is what? So write it down. It is a region around a magnet it is a region around a magnet where a magnetic substance will experience force. Okay, done with this? That is what a magnetic field means. Now, what are field lines? Okay. So, the next topic is what are magnetic field lines? For this also, I will show you a simulation. See, I'm going to the bar magnet. Observe this. Okay. I'm switching off the field. Now, I have this magnet, right? Now, what I will do is, if I bring the compass close to the North Pole, look at the way the compass is aligned. You're able to see? The compass is showing a north and a south direction. Right? So, observe. There's a slightly tricky part. I want you all to concentrate. So, if I take a compass like this, magnetic bar magnet like this, where this I'll call it as North Pole and South Pole. As soon as I bring the compass here, what will happen is, see, for a magnet, I will draw the diagram like this. This I will call it as North Pole, this I will call it as South Pole. Okay. So isn't it the compass of the bar magnet? Sorry, isn't the compass showing deflection like this? Then what you do is, you take a pen and put a dot here. Okay, put a dot here. Then what you will do is, see, you put a dot at this point. Actually, I cannot write on top of this. Then you move the bar magnet, you move the compass to the end of the dot and keep it like this. Now observe, tell me whether has there been a deflection in the compass or not. Has there been a deflection or is it in the same direction? Guys, I want you to concentrate. I told you this is slightly tricky. Concentrate. You want me to do it again and show? See, I keep it here.
Same direction.
If I move it slightly here, is it experiencing a slight deflection? Observe, if I move it even more, is it experiencing a slight deflection? Means the direction in which the north is going to face is going to change. Now, if I move if I move the compass here and keep, then what will happen is here the north direction will be slightly towards the left. Okay, I'll keep a dot here. Then at the end of this, again, I'll take the compass and keep it. Then I can observe. Then if you observe, no, the compass, the needle will get deflected like this. Then you will keep a point at this place. Then what you do is, if you join all these points, okay, I'm repeating it again. If you join all these points, you will get a shape like this. And this shape is what is called as magnetic field line. Okay, this shape is what we call it as the magnetic field line. Okay, so now let's write down the definition. See, all these things are not there in the textbook, so I'm explaining it. Listen, these are imaginary field lines or lines of force drawn from magnetic north to the magnetic south outside the magnet and magnetic south to magnetic north inside the magnet. So please make a note of this point. This is a very, very important point. Okay. So unless you understand what these magnetic field lines are, you will not understand this chapter. So these are the imaginary field lines or lines of force drawn from the magnetic north to the magnetic south outside the magnet and magnetic south to the magnetic north inside the magnet. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me read out the statement. So we are familiar with the fact that compass needle gets deflected when brought near a bar magnet. But the question is, what is a compass needle? A compass needle is in fact a small bar magnet. I hope you guys know what is a bar magnet, right? The one which looks in the form of a rectangle. That is what a bar magnet is. Okay. So the ends of the compass needle, what will happen is, they will approximately point towards the north-south direction. The end pointing towards north is called as the north-seeking or the north pole. The other end which points toward the south is called as south-seeking or south pole. Through various activities, we have observed that like poles repel while unlike poles of magnet get attracted to each other. Okay. So with respect to magnet, it is similar to how charges behave. We know that like charges repel and unlike charges attract. No, in a similar way, like poles repel and unlike poles of magnet attract each other. Okay. Now they have asked a question: why does a compass needle get deflected when brought near a bar magnet? What will be your answer? I've already told this. So I've already told this, guys. What is it? So how will you write this answer in the exam if it is asked? So you have to write a
It's due
compass
to
needle.
magnetic field Magnetic
Yes.
field around a bar magnet.
Mm, okay. Due to that magnetic field, what will happen? What will it experience?
The compass needle gets deflected due to the magnetic field around the bar magnet.
That's it. So what you can do is, for 10th standard, you can write like this. A compass needle is a small bar magnet, and when it is taken close to another bar magnet, it experiences deflection as it experiences this word torque, or you can use the word as it experiences rotational force also. This will add points as it experiences rotational force. Okay. Clear, guys? Now, there is a small activity that we can do to draw the magnetic field lines around a bar magnet. It's a very simple activity. What you can do is, you take a sheet of white paper. If possible, I'll do and show it next week. Okay. Take a sheet of white paper and attach it to a drawing board. Okay. Then place a bar magnet in the center of it. Suppose there is a plain sheet. Place a bar magnet at the center of it, and take some iron filings and spread it uniformly around the bar magnet. Then what will happen is, you can find this kind of an arrangement. When you tap the board gently, right, you can find this kind of an arrangement where you're able to see a pattern. I will draw some lines. You're able to see this pattern, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right. So these patterns are what are called as magnetic field lines. Okay. So that is how the magnetic field lines around a bar magnet would be present. Okay. So that is what they're trying to say. The iron filings arrange themselves in a pattern as shown in the figure 13.2. Why do the iron filings arrange in such pattern? What does this pattern demonstrate? All these are the questions that we get in our mind. So what will happen is, the magnet will exert its influence in the region surrounding it. Means iron particles are materials which can get attracted to magnet. Right. So what is the meaning of attraction or repulsion? Attraction or repulsion is nothing but a force. So what I'm trying to say is, these iron particles will experience some force due to the influence of magnetic field, and they will get aligned in this kind of a pattern. Okay. Iron filings experience a force. The force thus exerted makes iron filings to get arranged in a pattern. So this region that is surrounding the magnet, where the iron filings are experiencing force, is what we call it as magnetic field. Okay. And the lines along which the iron filings align themselves represent the magnetic field lines. Are you guys able to understand this? Okay. So the way we draw the magnetic field lines around the bar magnet is like this. I told you, right? You have to move a compass and then draw it. So this is the way, guys. So take a small compass and a bar magnet. Place the magnet on the sheet of white paper fixed on a drawing board using some adhesive material. Mark the boundary of the magnet. Place the compass near the north pole of the magnet. How does it behave? So what they're trying to say is, you place this magnet, no? Then place the compass here. Observe. So when you place the compass here, what is happening is, the south pole They took it in the reverse. Okay. The south pole of the compass will get attracted towards the north pole of the magnet, and the north pole will be slightly away. Then what you do is you move this compass slightly here. When you move it right, you are able to observe. Actually, there is a mistake in this case. There is a mistake in your textbook. So this part is there. No, it should be like this actually. It should be like this. Means the correction that I'm trying to say is this is how the compass will experience a deflection. Means the north pole will get repelled due to the north pole of the compass will get repelled due to the north pole of the magnet. Then move this compass here. Then what is that you are able to observe? Then you can see that the compass, the magnetic needle will experience a force in this direction. Means initially at this point, the north pole was in this direction. At this point, the north pole will get aligned in this direction. Then you move the compass here, then what will happen is the north pole will be deflected like this. Then you move the compass here, it will get deflected like this. Then you move it here, it will be exactly parallel to the bar magnet, but the direction will be in opposite. This will be north pole, this will be south pole. Then what will happen? As you bring it close to the south pole, then the north pole will be aligned towards the south pole. Are you guys able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, what will happen is if you place, I repeat, if you place small dots like this at the ends of the magnet in whichever direction the north pole of the compass is facing, then when you join all those points, right, you will get a shape like this. You will get a shape like this, and this shape is what is called as the magnetic field line due to a bar magnet. Now observe guys, is this shape not similar to the shape that the iron pilings are showing? Right, aren't they both the same? Right, so here an important point to be noted is, so this is how the field lines will be there. Like you keep doing at different locations. Suppose you place the compass here, 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 here. So if you place it in the inner region, this is how the field lines will be. It is not like you will have only one magnetic field line. You will have multiple field lines. Okay. And these are all called as the field lines around a bar magnet. So this is in terms of concept. In terms of exam, what they will ask you is, they'll ask you to draw the magnetic field lines around a bar magnet. So what you're supposed to do is, you need to draw all these curves and show the direction of arrow mark from the north pole of the magnet to the south pole of the magnet. Okay. So magnetic field lines are always from the north pole of the magnet to the south pole. They are always away from the north pole, and they are towards the south pole. Okay. Are you guys able to understand this point? Now I'm going to concentrate on one important term. You know what is the meaning of this direction? It means that if you place a compass here, if you place a compass at a random location, you can by default say that the north pole will be in this direction. North pole of the compass will be in the direction of this arrow mark. So magnetic field lines are drawn in the direction in which the north pole of the compass would face. Okay. So if you have to know about magnetic, all these things you learn only in your 12th standard of how to calculate magnetic field and all those things. This chapter is completely theoretical in your 10th. Okay, so concentrate, guys. Magnetic field is a quantity that has both direction and magnitude. So the direction of magnetic field is taken to be the direction in which the underline this point. So what if they ask you what is the direction of the magnetic field or how is it chosen, then you have to say the direction of magnetic field is taken to be in the direction in which the north pole of the compass needle would move if it is free to do so. Whatever is the direction in which the north pole of the compass will move will be the direction of magnetic field at that point. Okay, first point to be noted. So that is the reason why by convention we take that the field lines emerge from the north pole and merge at the south pole. Okay, that is arrow marks. You need to note the arrow marks marked on the field lines in figure 13.4. But what happens inside the magnet is the direction of field lines is from south pole towards north pole. Thus the magnetic field lines always form closed curves. So please underline the word that magnetic field lines will always form closed curves. If you're clear with this, I'll proceed to the next point. Right? Now, sometimes what they will do is they'll give you a diagram and ask you to find the region where the magnetic field strength is more. So that is what we call it as the relative strength of the magnetic field. Okay. So if you look at this diagram, okay, I'm taking different regions. I take region number 1, this as region number 2, and this as region number 3. Arrange the order of the regions according to the way they are experiencing the force at a point. So out of the points 1, 2, and 3, which point is having more amount of magnetic field strength?
Three, sir.
Read the statement. The relative strength of the magnetic field is shown by the degree of closeness of the field lines. So in which
Point
region? Yes. So point 1 has more strength because the field lines are very close to each other at that point. See, this generally happens if you observe the north pole or the south pole. Near the poles, the strength of the magnet is the maximum because that is the source, right? So after one is stronger than whom?
3, sir.
1 is stronger than 3 is stronger than 2. This is 3, guys. Are you guys able to understand? So these kind of questions also might come. So if they ask you to write the reason for it, what will you say? The relative strength of a magnet at a particular location is decided by the relative closeness of whom? Of the field lines. Okay. So the field is stronger, that is the force acting on the pole on another magnet placed is greater where the field lines are crowded. That is the meaning of it. Okay. And the last important point with respect to magnetic field lines is no two field lines are found to cross each other. This is also another important question. Means if you observe, there is a gap between field lines. You cannot say that one field line is like this and the other field line will be like this. Okay. This is another important question. No field lines will cross each other. If they do so, what will happen? If you place a compass at this particular location, compass has how many needles? Obviously, be one needle, right? So if you say that these two lines are intersecting at a given point, then what will happen is you are trying to say that the needle of the compass is showing the deflection in both the directions at the same time. How can one needle show deflections in both the directions at the same time? Not possible, right? Yes or no? So this is another important question that you need to make a note of. So no two field lines are found to cross each other. If they did, it would mean that at the point of intersection, the compass needle will point towards two directions, which is not possible, obviously. Okay. Then now we will see the magnetic field due to a current carrying conductor. Shall I proceed? Shall I proceed, guys? No one responding. Are you guys there or not?
Yes, sir.
Same directions. Okay. Now, listen. Please write it down. Method to find the direction of magnetic field due to a current carrying conductor. Method to find the direction of magnetic field due to a current carrying conductor. So write it down.
Sir, can you repeat once more?
Method to find the direction of magnetic field due to a current carrying conductor. Okay. So the heading is, write it as right hand thumb rule. Right hand thumb rule. Okay. So whenever a current carrying conductor is given to you and you are asked to find the direction of magnetic field, you can apply this right hand thumb rule. And the statement goes like this. Write it down. Write down the statement. Extend the thumb of your right hand. Extend the thumb of your right hand in the direction of current. Extend the thumb of your right hand in the direction of current and curl the fingers of your right hand as if you're holding the conductor, okay. Then the direction in which the fingers are curled, gives the direction of magnetic field at that point. So that will give you the direction of magnetic field at that particular point. Let me show you how it works. So listen guys, if I say this is a current carrying conductor and the strip is taken as the direction in which the current is flowing, then take the right hand, okay, and place the thumb of your right hand in the direction of current carrying conductor, in the direction of current, and curl the fingers as if you are going to hold it. Curl the fingers as if you are going to hold it. When you do this, one side you will go into the plane and the other side you will come out of the plane. So what I am trying to say is, if the conductor is carrying current in the upward direction, on the right of it, the magnetic field will be into the plane, and on the left of it, the magnetic field is out of the plane. Am I clear? So what I'm trying to say is, if the current is flowing in the upward direction, then place the thumb of your right hand in the direction of current. On the right, I hope you guys are doing the activity there. So when you curl the fingers into, like curl the fingers on your right hand side, it is into the plane, and on the left hand side, it is out of the plane. So we know that magnetic field lines always form a closed loop, right? So the current will flow in this way. Sorry, not current, the magnetic field. So the magnetic field will be in a circular loop where it will go into the plane on the right hand side and come out of the plane on the left hand side. Are you guys able to visualize this?
Sir, can you explain once more?
You take your pen and hold in such a way that the tip of your pen is in upward direction. Let me know once you do that. Take your pen and hold it in such a way that the tip is in upward direction. So this is the direction of current. Okay. Take your right hand. Okay. Place the thumb of your right hand in the direction of nib. Did you do that?
Yes, sir.
Place the thumb of your right hand in the direction of nib. Once you do that, curl the fingers as if you are going into the plane. So curl the fingers as if you are going to hold this conductor. When you do so, on the right hand side, what is happening? Where is your hand going? Is it going into the plane or out of the plane? What is happening to your hand? Is it going away from you or is it coming towards you? So you look at it like this. So when you curl the fingers, aren't they going away from you? So I need a confirmation.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So when you curl the fingers as if you're holding it, on the left hand side, what is happening? You feel as if the magnetic field is coming towards you. Is that happening?
Yes, sir.
So what is happening? What is happening around the same conductor? The magnetic field is in a circular path like this. That is what I mentioned. Okay. Is it clear? So if I have to put the same thing on a paper in the form of a diagram, then this is how I do it. Take the current carrying conductor, and let's say there is a point P here and there is a point P dash here. Due to this current, what will happen is, on the right hand side, the field is into. So into mark with a circle around this is read as into the plane. And on the left hand side, it is out of the plane. So you'll put a dot and a circle. It is called as out of plane. Clear? So on the right hand side, it is into the plane. On the right hand side, left hand side, it is out of the plane. So this is how you find the direction. That is why if you see magnetic field due to a straight current carrying conductor, they'll be in circular loop like this. Okay. Now, I want you guys to try this problem. A current through a horizontal power line flows in east to west direction. So current is from east to west. What is the direction of magnetic field at a point directly below it? I'll call it as P, and at a point directly above it, I'll call it as P dash. So apply right hand thumb rule and tell me. Guys, are you still doing it? So how you find the direction? What's wrong with you? No interaction.
Sir, it will be from point P to point P dash, sir.
I didn't understand. So this is the direction, right? This is the direction of current carrying conductor. Okay. You place the thumb of your right hand in the direction of current and curl the fingers at point P dash. P dash is above. At point P dash, it is away from you. Your fingers are going away from you, right? So therefore, they are into the plane. Whereas at the bottom, they are out of the plane. So with respect to magnetic field, you take a conductor. If one of the sides, the magnetic field is away from you, exactly on the opposite side, it will be towards you. Is that clear? So what will be the answer? The current is in east to west direction. Applying the right hand thumb rule, we get that the magnetic field at any point below the wire turns clockwise into the plane. So they have confused so much. So we can say it is into the plane and here it is out of plane. Okay, here it will go into the plane, here it will be out of the plane. So when you see from this side, when you see from the east direction, what you see is the direction of the loop. It will be in the clockwise direction. Okay, that is what they're trying to say. It appears as if it is going in the clockwise direction when you see from east. When you see from west, it will appear as if it is in the anti-clockwise direction or counterclockwise direction. Okay. Am I clear or not, guys? This is a very important point. If you're not clear, please get it clarified. Okay, yes. I hope it is clear then. Next. So we need to draw the magnetic field lines around the bar magnet. This you can do it. Magnetic field lines around the bar magnet. This is how you draw. Right. Secondly, list the properties of magnetic lines of force. Can you guys tell me? So what are all the properties of magnetic lines of force? First one, they start at which pole? Magnetic lines of force start at the north pole and they end at the south pole outside the magnet, and inside the magnet they are from the south to the north pole. Correct? They are from the south to the north pole. That is first thing. Secondly, the relative closeness of lines speak about the strength of magnetic field at a particular point. So these are all the properties of magnetic field lines. Where is it? So these are all the properties, guys. So these from here till here, these are all the properties. Actually, you can take it from here. Wait. from here till here. You can take them to be the properties of magnetic field lines. Okay, anyways, you'll find it in the material that is given to you. Similarly, what is the last question? Why don't two magnetic lines of force intersect each other? At least tell this answer. Why don't the magnetic lines of force means magnetic field lines. Why don't the magnetic field lines intersect each other?
So they are in different directions.
What will be in different directions? If they intersect, what will happen? Then the compass will show. Deflection in. Then the compass needs to show deflection in two different directions at the same time, which is not possible, right? So you have to understand that. So this is all about the basics of magnetic field and magnetic field lines. Now we need to start concentrating more on the current carrying conductors, different shapes of current carrying conductors. First, we'll be seeing for a straight, then we'll go for circular, then we'll go for a device called as solenoid. Okay, so all these things are there. See, if you guys are not going to interact, I'm losing my interest to teach. That's all I can say. Okay. If you want some information to be taken from me, it's better you guys interact, whether it is right or wrong. But if this is how the class is going to be, if I'm going to speak everything, I can better record and give you the sessions. Right? Why do I need to sit and waste time on this? Nobody is even talking. What is it? This chapter is tough. It is not that easy. Okay, please understand. It is full of theory. Unfortunately, it is full of theory. The same chapter at 12th standard is completely different. I can do nothing, and there is a lot of 3D visualization that needs to be done. If this is how the class is going to be, I'll record and give it. If you guys are not going to interact. That's disappointing, guys. Anyways, revise and come. Next class, I will see you.
Yes,
We can
sir.
wind up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.